Miller with Charlotte's Best Nanny Agency, and I'm here to talk to you about Zoom Nanny interview techniques and tips to make your next interview as successful as possible. As an agency, we have been doing Zoom interviews for our pre-screening and having our families do first round interviews with their nannies via Zoom and domestic candidates so they can get to know a nanny and the nanny can get to know them safely while reducing the spread of COVID-19. So since we've been doing this for almost 2 years now, I just thought that it would be a good time to share with you some Zoom Nanny interview tips and techniques to make your next interview as successful as possible. So my first tip is to dress professionally. You need to dress business casual or business professional and make sure, from the waist up that you are as professional and presenting yourself in the best way possible. And, you can wear a dress, you can wear a blouse, you can wear a dress shirt, you can wear a blazer, cardigan, something that's professional and that presents yourself in the best way possible. So that would be my first tip for Zoom Nanny interview etiquette. So, when you're presenting yourself, you want to just make sure that you look like you're prepared and professional and put together and ready to be a great asset to a family. So my second tip is to have a neutral background. So as you can see behind me, I have a very neutral background. I have some artwork on the wall, but nothing controversial or distracting. You want to make sure that there's nothing distracting behind you so the family can focus on you, you can focus on the family, and you guys can get to know each other without major distractions. So that would be our second tip to make things successful during a nanny Zoom interview. Our third tip is to log on to Zoom at least 5 minutes prior to your interview, or if you want to practice the day before, you can log onto your link. Make sure you know how Zoom works, make sure you're prepared for the ins and outs of Zoom if you're new to it, and make sure that you are on your Zoom link in the meeting on time, preferably 5 minutes before, which is what we recommend for in-person interviews as well. You want to be professionally early or on time, not too early, not late, of course. Late would not be good. So you want to make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row and you're ready to join that Zoom meeting as soon as it's time and you are there and prepared. And my next tip is to do research on the job that you're applying for. So make sure you read the job description fully, know the qualifications, know the expectations, know the ages of the children, and kind of what the family's looking for. And just make sure that you're prepared and, know who you're talking to, and you have a little head start on getting to know the family. Building on that, my next tip would be to prepare some questions for your interview and make sure that you are asking the family a few questions regarding the position. This always makes you look like you're prepared, you're interested in the position, and you would love to get to know more about the family and you have an invested interest in the job interview. I always recommend asking questions at the end of the interview. And then my last and final tip is when you are interviewing with a family through the agency, especially Charlotte's Best Nanny Agency. I know all different agencies have different policies, but here at our agency, we ask that you do not exchange contact information until a family has hired you, because we want to make sure that each step is followed in the placement process to set everything up for success. We have placed nannies for many years locally here in Charlotte and the Carolinas and have perfected our system over the years to make sure that everything's set up for success and you go into your position knowing the expectations, knowing that you'll be paid legally, knowing that you have all the standard nanny benefits that you agreed on, and knowing your expectations and duties and kind of the rules of the family and kind of, laying out everything to make your job as successful as possible. So we ask that you do not share contact information until you're hired by a family. So those are my nanny Zoom interview etiquette tips. I hope you have taken something from this to make your next interview as successful as possible. If you ever have any issues with a Zoom interview, or you have questions on how Zoom works, or have any questions for me about interviewing etiquette and tips for nannies and domestic employees, just reach out anytime at 980-292-1045 or via email at emily@charlottesbestnanny.com. Have a great day.